Yes. Okay. So we know we can analyze our data by using univariate technique, bivariate technique, and multivariate technique. Now, the structural equation modeling, it's a type of uh, the type of multivariate technique. Types of multivariate technique. एक मिनट जरा फोन. हेलो हेलो. हाँ बोलिए. The the structural equation modeling types of multivariate technique. Okay. Now question is how structural equation modeling different from the other multivariate technique. Now question is this, how this multi structural equation modeling different from the other multivariate techniques. Okay, so I will explain it. But before it, we know the multivariate technique can be classified as the dependence technique and other is interdependence technique. So we should keep in mind, we find the relationship between the variables, dependence relationship in a dependence technique, like in multiple regression analysis. So here we want to find out the relationship between two or more uh, either dependent variable or independent variables. Okay. So here in a structural equation modeling also we can find the relationship between exogenous and endogenous construct. Now we can divide structural equation modeling into we perform structural equation modeling in two parts. In the first part we perform the confirmatory factor analysis. So there are some stages to perform the structural equation modeling. So first of all we find the validity and reliability of this confirmatory factor analysis. It is known as CFA or measurement model. It is known as CFA and measurement model. Now question is how CFA different from EFA. In a EFA, whatever indicators or items or factors we are getting, all the items or variables, whatever variables or construct we are retaining, all based on statistical significance. Statistical significance, it means we keep only high factor loading variables like v1 equal to, there are some uh, the, the factor f1, f2, f3, so like 0.8 to 0.79. Okay, so we take all the items or variables on the basis of statistical significance, or we retain those variables and factors whose factor loading value high. Okay, but in a CFA, whatever construct or factors or items we are taking, all the factors factors and items means variables or questions. Okay, whatever factors or questions we are taking, all the questions or factor, it is pre-decided. We do not take the factor and questions on the basis of statistical significance, but it is pre-decided, because in a confirmatory factor analysis we are testing the theories, we are testing or verify the theory. So the purpose of a structural equation modeling to testing the theories. So in a through SEM. Now question, how Now my question is how the structural equation modeling different from the other techniques in a multivariate technique such as multiple regression analysis, discriminant, logistic, and other. In the other techniques such as multiple regression analysis, in a multiple regression analysis, we can analyze the one dependent variable and several independent variables only one time, like beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 and other independent variable beta 2 x2 beta 3 x3 and epsilon. So in a multiple regression analysis, we analyze one equation at a time, and y1, that is sales depend on advertising expenses, sales depend on the after sales service, after sales service after sales service, sales depend on promotion. Okay, so promotion. But if we want to find out the impact of the sales on profit, then what will we do? We will create another multiple regression equation, beta 0 beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 and beta 3 x3 and epsilon 2. Okay, here y2, it is profit, and profit depend on many independent variables such as sales of the product and many other factors. Earlier, sales was dependent variable with relation to other independent variables. But now with relation to profit, sales become the independent variable. Now it is independent variable with respect to profit, the profit. So if we want to find other relation, then again we need to create the other multiple regression equation. But in a structural equation modeling, simultaneously large number of equation we can analyze. Okay, we do not need to create different equations. So in a multiple regression analysis, automatically, for example, this y1 dependent variable, and now here it is independent variable, this sales with respect to the profit. Now we do not need to perform other model. So in a by one analysis, we can analyze the sales as a dependent variable and sales as a independent variable with respect to other independent variable. So it's a structure of equation basically, like y1 equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus x1 plus beta 2 x2, and the other equation y2 equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 and epsilon 1 epsilon 2. So y3 equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus x epsilon 3. So theoretically we can analyze n number of multiple regression equation through the structural equation modeling. So this is a basic or big difference. This is how the structural equation modeling different from the other multivariate technique. Okay, so this is the big difference. Now the So we need, before applying the structural equation modeling, we need to understand the concept of multiple regression analysis, and the second concept, exploratory factor analysis. Now here, yes, एक मिनट, मुझे लग रहा माइक आपका म्यूट, हाँ अब आप समझ सकते। Now you can see the definition of a structural equation modeling. Structural equation modeling is a family structural equation model that seek to explain the relationship among multiple variables. Multiple variable means y1 equal to x1, x2, x3, y2 equal to y1, y2, y3. So it examines the structure of interrelationship expressed in a series of equations similar to a series of multiple regression analysis, series of multiple regression equations. This technique is combination of multiple regression analysis and exploratory factor analysis. So in an exploratory factor analysis, it is related to CFA. CFA means confirmatory factor analysis, and multiple regression analysis related to SEM, structural equation modeling. So sorry, now you can see here it's a complete path model. The path model is here many 5 construct: price, service, atmosphere, customer service, and customer commitment. 5 construct here. Construct means factor, dimension, all are same thing. So I can say construct, dimension, factor, component, all are same thing. So in each construct means latent, unobserved phenomena. This is oval shape. It is unobserved. Directly we cannot observe the price. Directly we cannot observe the price. We can observe or find the price through several questions like x1, x2, x3, x4. So basically we test the theory in structural equation modeling, and before applying the structural equation modeling, we find the theory, how to implement theory in our research paper or thesis. So through literature review, we can find the theory, and then we will develop our question on the basis of theory. So we will not take additional questions. So I told you the scale, one is the borrowed scale or tested scale we can use, and second is we can modify our scale. Modified scale means we can add some questions or delete some questions. Okay, so it is very necessary that without theory we should not test the structural equation modeling. For testing the structural equation modeling, we need some theory. Whatever, if we want to perform structural equation modeling, so our questions based on particular theory. We should not create question on choice. So whatever questions we are preparing for research paper or thesis, all the questions should be based on the particular theory. Then we can test the theory. So here you can see there are these x1, x2, x3. Basically, these are variables or questions, and it is latent variable, such as factor analysis. So it is, I can present this picture. So it is nothing but the factor matrix. Factor matrix means we can take many in a factor matrix. It's a factor matrix. You can see the factor matrix. These are the variables, and factor 1, factor 1, factor 2, factor 2, factor 3. So how many factor here? There are 5 factors, factor 4 and factor 5. So same thing we can present in a path diagram. This is our path diagram. Now how many questions in factor 1? X1, x1, x2, x2, x3, x4, and how many? These are the factor loading value. This is factor loading value. These are you can see the arrow. Same as the factor 2. How many questions? 4 questions. X5, X6, X7, X7, X8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same as in atmosphere, the third factor. So there are 4 questions, and so the 4 questions of customer share and 4 questions of customer commitment. So we can draw this in a part diagram. The exogenous construct, so there are 2 types of construct. One is the exogenous construct. So it is a extension of multiple regression, and it is a, so you can see the path diagram. Take minute. Okay, I think you can see this whiteboard. So the so for performing the structural equation modeling, the prerequisite of the, we should understand the concept of multiple regression analysis. Okay, so it is my equation. Now you can see y1 equal to beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x3. So can we write this equation in a path diagram? Yes. This is y1 and x1, x2, x3. The x1, x2, x3 are independent variables, and y1 dependent variable. So the arrow from x1 to y1, x2 to y1, and x3 to, and plus epsilon. This is error term. Okay, and regression coefficient beta 1, beta 2, and beta 3. The other equation I can write y2 equal to beta 1 x1 plus beta beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x x3 plus epsilon 2. So same equation I can write here, y2 and x1, x2, x3. x3. Okay, now you can see the relationship x1, x2, x3 with y. So it is, I can write in path diagram this equation. Now the so these, I think you can, is it visible to you slide? देखिए इसको बताइए.
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay, thank you. So because it is a structural equation modeling, it's a complex technique, advanced technique. So we should understand very cautiously. Now we use 2 terms, exogenous construct and endogenous construct. Construct means factor. Construct means factor. Exogenous means independent. It is nothing but same as independent variables. So the exogenous construct, when I talk about construct means combination of 4 or 5 questions. In a factor analysis, factor 1, factor 2, it means each factor has 4 or 5 questions. Same as construct has 4 or 5 questions. Questions may be 7, 8, 9. Okay. So exogenous construct are latent multi-item equivalent of independent variables. It means when we combine multiple independent variables and create the factor, this factor known as exogenous construct. and the second is endogenous construct are latent. Latent means unobserved and equivalent to dependent variables. Combination of 4 or 5 questions. So here we will not, I will not use the term independent variable and dependent variable. Independent and dependent variable, only single question. Okay. And when I talk about the exogenous construct, it's a combination of 4 or 5 independent variable. So throughout the structural equation modeling, whether I am performing CBSEM, covariance based structural equation modeling, or PLS, partial least square structural equation modeling, so we use the term exogenous construct and endogenous. Endogenous nothing but the dependent variable. जब भी मैं term if I use the term endogenous, it means I'm talking about dependent variable. If I'm using the term exogenous, it means I'm saying the independent variables. Okay. So these are the terms. Unobserved phenomena, sorry, unobserved phenomena which cannot be directly observed, but we can observe through questions or measured indicators. Whatever questions we are preparing for our study, all known as measured indicator variables. So, or observed variables. Observed variables, nothing but simple questions. Whatever questions we are taking in our study. So on the basis of these questions, we can find the latent phenomena. Latent phenomena. Latent means unobserved, and observed variable means manifest or indicators. So this type of data is collected from respondent through various data collection methods such as survey, interview, whatever questions you are taking in particular research paper or thesis, and you are distributing this questionnaire to the respondent. All the questions known as observed questions. Now there are two things. One is the measurement model. The measurement model can be divided into two parts. One is reflective measurement model and second is formative measurement model. Formative measurement model. Now the in a CBSEM, especially in the AMOS software, we can perform only the reflective measurement model. We cannot use the formative measurement model in AMOS through AMOS software. AMOS means analysis of moment of structure. Okay. Now this the reflect. Now first we will understand the what is reflective measurement model. Reflective simple reflection like symptoms. Now the stress. If someone has stress, so what are the symptoms? Stress. It's a stress, unobserved phenomena. Directly we cannot observe the stress unless we see some symptoms. So stress. What are the symptoms? Blood pressure, BP, this one variable. The another variable, if someone feel perspiration, nervousness, and the frigidity. Okay, so these are the symptoms of stress. You are feeling very nervous, it means you are in stress. So who is depending? You your blood pressure depend. So that is why the arrow from construct to the variable or construct to oval shape to rectangle. Okay, the arrow from where the arrow, if arrow from stress to x1, it means x1 is depend on stress. So who is influencing the blood pressure? Blood pressure. Who is influencing the blood pressure? Stress. More stress, more blood pressure, more stress. Low no blood pressure, no stress. No nervousness, no stress. High nervousness, high stress. So who is influencing the nervousness? Yes, stress. So when the construct influencing the when latent variable influencing the indicators, it is known as measurement model. In a latent construct cause, who is causing the independent these variables? The stress. or latent construct cause the measured variable. These are measured variable x1, x2, x3, and that error is an result of inability to latent construct to fully explain. So it is the reflective measurement model, and the formative measurement model means who is forming the stress, who is forming the stress. So there are some variable forming the stress. One is difficult boss, your boss not good and you are in tension. Your trouble home, your kids not good, you are in tension. Poor work evaluation, you do not have AC in your office, so you are in stress. Yes, some medical condition also influence the stress. So these factors forming the stress, this is, that is why this model known as formative measurement model. So we cannot perform formative measurement model in AMOS. We can perform only reflective measurement model. Okay. So in the limitation of the CB SEM, covariance based SEM, the advantage of the PLS SEM. Okay, so we can perform formative and measurement model both the uh, in a structural equation, PLS SEM. Okay, so there are some stages in structural equation modeling. So here, when we tested the CFA confirmatory factor analysis, we check the construct validity. So in a construct validity, construct means factor. So how to check? Whatever questions you are taking to checking the validity of your model, you need to check the convergent validity, discriminant validity, nomological or phase validity. So generally we give results of the convergent validity and discriminant validity. Okay. So the convergent validity can be estimated through factor loading, variance expected, and reliability. And discriminant to validity, the average variance expected should be greater than the off diagonal. For example, if I create this matrix, there are three factors. It's a symmetric matrix. So in a AVE, in a principal diagonal, these are AVE, and off diagonal, the factor 1, factor or construct 1, construct 2, and construct 3. Same as F1, F2, and F3. So these are the off diagonal values. So all the off diagonal values should be less than the, and these values known as interconstruct squared SIC. SIC means squared interconstruct correlation should be less than average variance extracted, and average variance extracted in a principal diagonal. ये देखिए, all the three values average variance extracted. Okay. So basically there are some steps in the now there are 6 stages to performing the confirmatory factor analysis. So one is defining individual construct, developing the overall measurement model, designing a study of produce empirical results, and assessing the measurement model validity. Measurement model means confirmatory factor analysis. So we will check model validity, one at the time of CFA, and second is the at the time of structural model. Okay, so the model validity means we find the each construct validity. And how will we find the construct validity? We find construct validity through convergent validity and discriminant validity. Okay, now I'm taking the case study to how to perform this. case study articles. In this case study, you can see the case study theory of plant behavior. For example, you want to measure the tourist, you want to measure the tourist buying behavior. Okay, if you want to measure the tourist buying behavior in a hill station, then you need to develop a model or theory. So measuring the buying behavior pattern, if you want to if you want to measure the buying behavior pattern of the respondents, then you can measure this buying behavior pattern through the theory of planned behavior. It means if we want to measure the tourist buying behavior, we will develop our questions on the basis of this theory. For example, you want to know the buying behavior of youth in a university. Okay, then how will you measure the question? How will you measure the buying behavior pattern? You do not need to create your own question, but you search the theory how to measure the buying behavior. Then through literature review, you will find through theory of planned behavior, we can measure the buying behavior pattern of youth or anyone. Okay. Second is it's a tested model, original model, tested model. I'm not changing anything. So what are the component? The one is five component: attitude, subjective norm, perceived bill control, purchase intention, and purchase behavior. So we will take only. Can we make the arrow from attitude to purchase behavior? Uh, Attitude to purchase behavior. Yes, you can. There may be possibility. Yes, yes. You can, same as pursuit bill control, you can create this also.
Sir,
Yes, yes.
hello.
Yes, yes.
Sir, actually, I am asking that sometimes there is some established theory,
Yes,
like you explained TPB, but सर क्या हम अपनी तरफ से कोई एरो लगा सकते हैं जिसको हम चेक करना चाहते हैं, जिसे
हाँ.
हम एवरेज वेरिएंस एक्सट्रैक्टेड के थ्रू या वैलिडिटी रिलायबिलिटी के थ्रू हम चेक कर सकते हैं, तो क्या हम वो कर सकते हैं?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, अभी मैं बता रहा हूँ रजत आपका, आप कहाँ से
जी।
हैं रजत? रजत क्या कर रहे हैं आप?
सर पीएचडी कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी।
अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ तो रजत देखो बिल्कुल कर सकते हो। सो मैं अब मेरा आंसर सुन लो। So
जी।
I told you there are two method. One is you can use the, you can borrow scale. Borrow scale means tested scale. Okay, जैसे it is tested scale theory of plant behavior. अपना माइक म्यूट कर लो, उससे डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहा है ना। Second is the modified scale. Modified scale. Scale means set of questions. Modified scale. Scale nothing but set of questions, or it is known as research instrument. So it is the original model. Now, if you want to add something and you want to test whether the attitude directly related to purchase behavior or not, whether subjective norm, you can do it. You can modify this scale. You can add some question in particular factor, or you can add some more factor also, like the if you simply uh, uh, measure the buying behavior, you can use this theory of plant behavior. But if you want to want to measure the online buying behavior, then you can extend this model, and the new model name is TAM, technology acceptance model, and then you will add some more construct or questions. Now you should keep in mind, whatever questions you want to add or factor you add in existing model, you need to give some justification. Why did you add these factors? Why did you add 4 or 5 questions? Why did you delete these questions? You need supporting document. Without supporting document, you do not need, okay, you don't need to add the factors or add factors or variables. Now there are three. The one is you can borrow scale, second modify scale, and third is new scale development. New scale, when will we develop the new scale? When existing scale not available, then you can create your own scale. But otherwise, you should use either tested model, borrow model, or you can modify. But if you want to create your new scale, it's a very long process. First, you need to conduct the qualitative research, and then you test your research instrument to particular group. Okay. So
सर
हाँ, बोलिए बोलिए बोलो.
सर जैसे आपने कहा कि एटीट्यूड को हम परचेज बिहेवियर से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, बट देयर शुड बी सम जस्टिफिकेशन.
Justification, and you should give some justification, and you need to give some supporting documents. Okay. Theoretically, हाँ ठीक है ना, उसका रिलेशनशिप होना चाहिए कि वेदर इज इट पॉसिबल, इज एटीट्यूड रिलेटेड टू परचेज बिहेवियर. इफ भाई क्या ये रिलेटेड है इससे, मुझे नहीं पता. अगर है तो आप उसका मुझे सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट दिखाएंगे कि यस सर इट इज रिलेटेड टू दिस.
मीन सर इन दोनों में ऑलरेडी रिलेशन एस्टेब्लिश हुआ होना चाहिए.
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, ठीक है ना. क्योंकि देखिए हमारा हमारा सो आवर पर्पस इन स्ट्रक्चरल इक्वेशन मॉडलिंग to testing this theory, testing or verifying the theory. Our purpose not to developing the new skill. I am not saying you do not need to develop your new skill. You can develop, but if you want to develop your new skill, first of all you go for a qualitative research, and then you can test your research instrument in various group. ठीक है ना, आप उसमें कर सकते हो. But if you are adding the particular कोई भी if you are adding the factors or questions, then you need to give supporting document. Without supporting document, you should not develop or add new construct or जो variables है उसको नहीं करना चाहिए. ठीक है. Now I want to measure the buying behavior pattern. देखिए यही एक डिफरेंस है. ये जो क्वेश्चन.
हेलो सर.
यस यस
हेलो.
यस
हाँ सर, रवि सर.
यस सर.
सर जैसे इसको आपने बोला कि कंटेंट वैलिडिटी को हम लोग टेस्ट कर लेंगे ना इससे, तो
हाँ,
लिटरेचर
हाँ.
रिव्यू करके.
हाँ नहीं वो भी ठीक है. कंटेंट वैलिडिटी रवि देखो, वी कैन चेक कंटेंट थ्रू कंटेंट वैलिडिटी भी हम उसको चेक कर लेंगे. वही कंटेंट वैलिडिटी की ही तो बात मैं कर रहा हूँ जो रजत को भाई रजत को जो रवि यही बात मैं रजत को बता रहा था कि कंटेंट वैलिडिटी क्या है. कंटेंट और फेस वैलिडिटी मींस द सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट. सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट ही तो कंटेंट वैलिडिटी. कंटेंट मींस कि फॉर एग्जांपल आई वांट टू मेजर द एटीट्यूड. सो फॉर measuring the attitude, these are the content of attitude. What are the content?
Yes.
All the 4 items are content of the attitude. I want to develop the thermometer. What are the content of thermometer? Mercury or glass. So if you want to develop your the thermometer, then you need to ये कंटेंट आपका जो है होना चाहिए कि क्या इसके थ्रू हम डेवलप कर सकते हैं. तो कंटेंट वैलिडिटी, सॉरी कंटेंट वैलिडिटी तो कुछ नहीं होती. मैं उसकी बात कर रहा था कि जो कंटेंट, हाँ सॉरी कंटेंट वैलिडिटी को statistically significant, we do not check.
چایا نه بابا مزاحم شما نمیشم عزیزم.
हाँ ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, वो डिस्टरबेंस हो गया था माइक. हाँ तो मैं कह रहा था कि जो आई टोल्ड यू 4 मेथड्स टू चेकिंग द मॉडल वैलिडिटी. वन इज द convergent validity, discriminant validity, third nomological validity, and 4 is content validity. So the convergent validity we check through statistical significance, discriminant validity we check through statistical significance, and nomological also. But content validity just giving the references of the particular construct, indicators or construct. मतलब उसमें हम ये बता देते हैं कि देखिए इस कंस्ट्रक्ट में इतने क्वेश्चंस थे, इसमें इतने क्वेश्चंस है, तो वो कंटेंट वैलिडिटी कर रही है कि इफ यू आर मेजरिंग द एटीट्यूड, ये जो 4 क्वेश्चंस हैं जो प्रीवियस रिसर्च पेपर्स में होंगे उनको आप supporting document में you will use as a supporting document, then you can say there is a content validity of this instrument. So for measuring the tourist buying behavior, I am using this model. So the first component, there are 5 components to measuring the buying behavior pattern. अब देखिए, if you are measuring the buying behavior pattern, so you need to take only these construct. You should not take construct your own choice or your questions अपनी choice से नहीं लेने हैं. So whatever questions we are taking, all the questions based on the particular theory, because in a structural equation modeling we are testing the theory. So the 4 questions related to attitude. I selected Shimla as my travel destination in future. I think that visiting Shimla is good idea. So ये इस तरीके से we will develop our questions. तो ये questions हमने अपनी मर्जी से नहीं बनाए. Whatever questions we are taking, all the questions based on the particular theory, and all the questions we asked in a strongly disagree to strongly agree. You may agree these statement, you may disagree these statement. So how to prepare the questionnaire for structural equation modeling? You can prepare your question like this. So only 17 question I took. I did not add any question my own choice, so because I am using tested scale. Okay, yes, all the 17 question. Now I will perform, I will draw the picture of a measurement model or confirmatory factor analysis. So first of all, I will prepare this CFA. It's a confirmatory factor analysis. So in a measurement model or confirmatory factor analysis, we treat all the construct. You can see the construct. We treat all the construct as exogenous. Because our purpose is not to find out the relationship in a CFA. Now you can check. देखिए, you can test it. मैं भी बताऊंगा कैसे कर सकते हैं रजत इसको भी. Statistically you can do it. But अभी जो है इसको चेक कर सकते हैं. Now the measurement model. So these are the 5 constructs. So first of all, we will perform this measurement model and then find the validity and reliability of this model. And once my model valid, then we specify the model. Specify means here we create this graph. Then through literature review, we know that the purchase intention, it is endogenous construct, purchase behavior endogenous construct, attitude exogenous. Exogenous means it is same as the independent variable. So arrow from attitude to purchase. So purchase depend means endogenous. So the 2 endogenous and 3 exogenous construct. So then again we will find the validity of our model. So there are 2 approaches. There are 2 approaches to find the 2 approaches to find the measurement model. Now you can see the, I think it is visible now. ये देखिए, इसमें if it is very easy. देखिए concept जरूर advance है, but you can perform easily. You can perform एक मिनट. Yes. Now, so for assessing the measurement model, you there are 2 broad approaches. One is examine the goodness of fit indices and evaluate the construct validity and reliability. केवल यही रिजल्ट हमें अपने we need to give the results of the goodness of fit and construct validity and reliability. ठीक है. अब now how to find the construct validity. So there are 3 methods to find the construct validity. One is the factor loading, standardized factor loading. Its value should be greater than 0.714. Second is average variance expected. Its value should be greater than 0.5. And the construct reliability, it should be greater than 0.7. and the discriminant validity. Discriminant validity means whatever the factors we are taking, all the construct unrelated to each other. So how to find it? So there is a matrix. You can see the matrix of finding the discriminant analysis. Yes, this discriminant analysis. This discriminant analysis. Now you can see the picture of discriminant analysis. Now you can see the in our theory 5 component. The first component attitude, subjective norm, pursuit bill control, purchase intention, purchase behavior, and vertically same. It's a symmetric matrix, so I took only lower triangular matrix. So in this principal diagonal, we put all the values of average variance expected, or AVE value. How will we calculate? I will explain it. Now the discriminant, how will we say whether my model the discriminant validity has me ya nahi? When all the values of average variance expected greater than the SIC. SIC means squared inter-construct correlation. So it is 0.6197 greater than 0.011. Now you can see all the off diagonal values less than the average variance expected. If it is there, then we can say my model, there is no issue of discriminant validity. Okay. Yes. Now there are two approaches. In the first approach, we find the construct validity, the convergent validity, discriminant validity, and nomological validity. And second approach, goodness of fit indices. We need 5 values. One is C mean by degree of freedom. It should be C mean by degree of freedom theoretically greater than 2. And the other 3 goodness of fit indices, absolute fit measures, incremental fit measures, and parsimonious fit measures, all the values should be greater than 0.95. And one badness of fit index. One badness of fit index should be less than 0.08. The RMSEA, it should be less than 0.08. R means root mean square error approximation. Its value should be less than 0.08. But 5 values, we need to present 5 values of goodness of fit and 2 values of the construct validity, convergent validity and discriminant validity. Once you find the results, you can check कि मॉडल हमारा फिट है या नहीं. ठीक है, अब मैं देखिए ये एक इसमें now how to find the convergent validity. So for checking the convergent validity, there are 3 approaches. One is standard. First is factor loading. So you can see the factor loading in my research. So there are 5 components. The first component, attitude, subjective norm, pursuit bill control, purchase intention, and purchase behavior. The convergent validity. Convergent validity means first standardized factor loading. Standardized factor loading, its value should be greater than 0.714. So the factor loading of the first item 0.817 greater than 0.714. Now you can see all the values greater than 0.714. So there is no issue of convergent validity. Sometimes what happen, the one construct the items like the 1 or 2 items have less factor loading, like 0.68 or 0.635. So should we remove these indicators or not? No. If all the items factor loading not greater than the 0.74, then the other method to checking the convergent validity, that is average variance extracted. So we will take the average of variance when it is simple correlation. When we square the correlation, it becomes the variance. So we will square of this plus square of this value plus square of this. When we square all the factor loading and then divide the number of items, then we will get the average variance expected. It means, how will we calculate the average variance expected? Square of this value plus square of this value plus square of this value plus square of this value and divided by number of items. How many items? 4. Same as for second construct, average variance expected, square of this value factor loading plus square of this factor loading plus and square of this factor loading and divided by 3. So now you can see the average variance expected. Now here in this case, we can see the all the average variance expected greater than 0.5 or 50%. So it is all the average variance expected greater than AVE should be greater than 50%. So all the 5 constructs have greater than 50%. यहाँ देखिए average variance. And third is the composite reliability, construct reliability. The formula of construct reliability. Okay. Now you can check through manually. You can find out the average variance expected. So the first construct attitude. So how will we check the average variance of this component or construct? Square of all factor loading and add and divided by number of the items. The construct validity, formula of construct validity, this. Or add all the factor loadings and then square, then divided by add all the factor loadings and square and plus error term. Error term, how will we find the error term? Yes, you can see the error variance. So this from this factor matrix, you can see it is community. So yesterday I told you community should be greater than 0.5. Now you can see all the items community greater than 0.5. So there is no issue. So we will not delete any item because it is pre-decided. And then when you square of this factor loading and less the 1, it means 1 minus 0.667. So it is explained part, this one, explained part, and unexplained part, this 0.33. So this is our error term. So how to use these error terms? We will take all the 4 error terms and then put all the 4 error terms value in a construct reliability. 0.333, 0.409, and then so construct reliability should be greater than 70%. So in the first construct, it is 86.69, greater than 70%. Second construct, it is greater than, and third construct, it is greater than, and fourth construct, it is also greater than. All the 5 components. The construct reliability estimate range from 81 to 88.78. All exceed the 70% rule of thumb. What is the rule of thumb? All the construct reliability should be greater than 70%. So there is no issue of the convergent validity. Now we check the discriminant validity. This is discriminant validity. So we take the average variance expected value from the factor matrix. जो भी हमने ऊपर बनाया उसमें से वो था 61.97. So here we are writing in a actual. I am not writing here percentage. So here 0.6917 and 0.7567, 0.654. ठीक है, ये values in principal diagonal. and interconstruct. First of all, we will find the interconstruct correlation and then square. Okay, so squared interconstruct correlation. The interconstruct correlation attitude with purchase behavior, pursued behavioral control, attitude with purchase intention, attitude with purchase behavior. So it is an interconstruct correlation, and when we square the interconstruct correlation, it becomes the SIC. So all the off diagonal values, all the off diagonal value is less than the SIC, or I can say the average variance extracted should be greater than SIC. So these value SIC value we will obtain from the output of analysis. जब analysis करेंगे उससे मिलेगा, ठीक है. तो and ये दो चीजें हमें इसमें करना है. And then nomological validity. Nomological validity simply tell us about if the attitude and subjective norm, the relationship between the attitude and subjective norm is positive, then the correlation between the attitude and subjective norm should be positive. ठीक है. अगर वो है, it is then tested by examining whether the correlation among the construct in a measurement theory make sense or not. अब जैसे मैं कह रहा हूँ कि for reducing the price, there are two variables, the sales and price. So what is the relationship? The relationship should be inverse. You increase the price, sales will down. But if your result is you are increasing the price of the commodity and your result is saying sales is increasing, so there is no sense of this relationship. So whatever results correlation you are getting, there should be some theoretical sense. Measurement theory make sense. Okay, ये हम इसको करते हैं. Now I am performing the मैं इसको परफॉर्म करता हूँ. देखिए इसको. Is it visible? Can you see this graphics, among graphics? ठीक, okay. अब देखिए, I am drawing the confirmatory factor analysis. So in the first step, I will perform the confirmatory factor analysis, and then अभी बस 1 मिनट में आता हूँ, जरा माउस लेते हैं. Okay, so in the first step, we will create the measurement model or confirmatory factor analysis. और ये तो यहीं रखा था. चलो कोई बात ठीक. ओके, देखिए बड़ा इजी है, और ये yes, देखिए. So if you can write research paper, just अगर CFA पे बड़ा आसान है, अगर आप CF और SEM लगा लें तो एक you can publish your paper in ABDC journal, और इसमें बड़ा इजी है. केवल हमें 2 अप्रोचेस की वैल्यू रखनी है. वन इज कन्वर्जेंट वैलिडिटी एंड सेकंड डिस्क्रिमिनेंट वैलिडिटी. And second approach, the fit indices, the one is C-mean by degree of freedom, then second the value of GFI, TLI, and one value of the parsimonious fit index. देखिए Now, first of all, you take this oval. Oval means latent construct. Now you can make it duplicate. So I am pressing this. Yes, yes, yes. It's an add-on of spaces. If you need, I can share it. So it's a trial version. You can use this. Okay. So I am taking. So the 5 construct. 1 duplicate, the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay. Now, then before using, I need to select my file. So file name, okay, and then okay. After selecting the file, the first component I need to perform. मैं पहले बता दूं आपको क्या परफॉर्म करना है. जो the first component attitude, and attitude has 4 items indicator 1 2 3 4, and second is subjective norm. It has 3 indicators 1 2 3. Third, pursuit bill control. It has 4 items 1 2 3 4, and purchase intention 3 questions, and purchase behavior 3 questions. Now I am rotating. Okay, then draw the covariance, the double-headed arrow. You can use this double-headed arrow, or you can use the plugins. But before it, I need to select all the 5 construct, because I want to add covariance and draw covariance. देखिए ड्रॉ कोवेरियंस हो गया बिल्कुल ठीक है ना. तो ये ड्रॉ कोवेरियंस, इसमें हमने इजीली हो गया. ड्रॉ कोवेरियंस कर सकते हैं. नाउ सेलेक्ट ऑल एंड देन मूव. इसलिए कर रहा हूं कि ये इनसाइड, सो दैट इट कैन, हाँ, इनसाइड दिस पार्ट. और बड़ा इजी है. विद इन 5 मिनट यू कैन क्रिएट द मॉडल. कोई समय नहीं लगता इसमें. एंड देन you need to give the name of these 5 constructs. The first construct name was the attitude, so I am writing attitude, or you can copy and paste. ठीक है. And the second, you can use the second component name, the attitude subjective norm, subjective norms, and the third, pursued behavioral control. So you can reduce the font size. And then third is pursued behavior control. Okay, so the pursued behavioral control, and you can reduce the font size so that this text can come inside this oval shape. Okay, and then purchase intention, and then you can reduce the font size. And last is purchase behavior, purchase behavior, sorry, purchase behavior, and then you can reduce the font size. ठीक है. Now select all the 4 all the items. These are my questions. कैसे आया? You just press this icon, list variable in data set. When I press it, it will appear. Now if I drag and drop, the whole question will come. ये देखिए whole. So what should I do? Undo, and you can see here view. Press this button, view. interface properties, and miscellaneous. And miscellaneous, untick this display variable name, untick, and then apply. Now you can simply transfer the coding 81. Now the whole question will not appear inside the rectangle, only short form of this question. And the second is subjective noun. So here we do not need to create question our own choice, but whatever questions we are creating, all the questions should be based on some theory. ये सब याद रखना है. And purchase intention, 3 questions. You just drag and drop, and 3 questions of purchase behavior control, purchase behavior. ठीक. Now I need error item E1. So plugins name unobserved variables. So these are the, now my model is prepared. मेरा model prepare हो गया. अब बस इसमें क्या करना, run the model and then check the validity of the model, whether my model valid or not. So analysis properties, and then nothing to do here. You just press this button, output, and standardized indirect effect. बस इतने से काम हो जाएगा हमारा. And then ये भी हो गया. And then calculate estimates. The third icon you can see here, calculate estimate. ये देखिए estimate हो गया. You can estimate the name CFA. अब मॉडल टेस्ट हो गया. CFA. Now you can see the results. Is it clear? So ये मॉडल हमारा प्रिपेयर हो गया. So now you can copy and paste this diagram, path diagram, your Word file. कैसे करेंगे इसको? You just copy the path diagram and then you can paste it. Now question is how to interpret the results. What are the results? Results क्या है? Now you just view text. View text results. अब आगे results. Now you can see the results. The time भी आगे देखिए, July 28, time 7, 9, and then the model is recursive. Basically in MOS we can perform only recursive model. Recursive means when arrow from one construct to other construct. Means when you it is recursive. Non-recursive means when you take the loop, the arrow from one construct to other. So we can perform only recursive model. It is recursive. Okay, and the sample size 300. Now model summary. Model summary. So the observed endogenous variable. What does it mean? Observed. Observed means whatever questions we are taking in our study. So how many questions we took in our study? 17 questions. The 4 questions related to attitude, 3 questions related to subjective norm, 4 questions related to pursuit behavior control, 3 questions related to purchase intention, and 3 questions related to purchase behavior. Observed variable means the measured variable. Observed variable, same thing. Yeah. Whatever questions we are preparing for measuring the CFA validity, known as observed questions. These are our observed questions. Endogenous, why the name endogenous? Because the attitude influencing the 4 questions. Attitude 1, the arrow from when you take the arrow from construct to rectangle, it is reflective measurement model. And in social science research, 95% research is based on reflective रिफ्लेक्टिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल के थ्रू हम करते हैं। ओनली 5% रिसर्च, वो भी मेडिकल साइंस में वी नीड फॉर्मेटिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल हु आर फॉर्मिंग दिस कंस्ट्रक्ट, वो हम फाइंड करते हैं। सो एंडोजीनियस व्हाई द ऑब्जर्व्ड, because these are questions. Endogenous why? Because arrow from construct to attitude, that is why the term observed endogenous. Next is the unobserved and endogenous. What does it mean? The unobserved which cannot be directly observed. Unobserved means how many construct attitude was one unobserved variable. We observed through four questions. Second unobserved, देखिए first unobserved attitude, second the subjective norm, third perceived behavioral control, and fourth purchase intention, and fifth purchase behavior. All are unobserved or latent. And exogenous, why exogenous? Because the arrow from oval to construct, that is why all are exogenous. And other unobserved error term also unobserved, all are error terms, 17 error terms. Now you can see the variables, you can count the variables. So number of variables in your model 39. Can you count the 39? Yes. How to count the 39? Yes, you can see 39 total number of variables, number of the 17 and 17 and 5 and 5. So total 39 in our model. And the total number of variable in our model 39. Number of observed variable means the number of questions. So we took 17 questions, or 17 observed variable. Unobserved variable means 5 latent and 17 error. Okay, E1, E2, E3. And number of exogenous variable, exogenous means independent, 5 the observed and 5 unobserved construct and 17 error term. And the model next is model summary. In a model summary, you can see the model summary, the total fixed 22 weights. How 22 weights? You can check it. 22 कैसे हैं? You can see through this diagram. Yes, yes, 22. Now you can count the 22 fixed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 17. Okay, 17 and 18 fixed, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 fixed. And how many covariances? 10 covariances. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 covariances. So you can see in this table 10 covariances, 10 covariances. Okay. Now the model fit estimates. Okay, I am taking estimates. The estimates I need standardized factor loading. Now you can see the regression weight. So regression weight, the attitude, whether it is significant or not. Yes, p value, all the p values less than 0.05. 3 star means less than 0.05. Okay. And the second is we use this standardized regression weight, this table. Okay, I told you there are two approaches to find out the validity. One is the construct validity through convergent and discriminant, and second approach, goodness of fit indices. So from this table we will find the convergent and discriminant validity and discriminant validity. कैसे? यही तो, by using of this table, through this table I prepared the factor matrix. Factor matrix मैंने आपको शो किया था. Variables 81, 81, 80, 82, 80, 83, 83, 80, 84, and SN 1, SN 2, SN 3, and these are construct. First construct attitude, second construct subjective norm, third construct perceived behavioral control, and fourth construct purchase intention and the purchase behavior. These are the values: 0.8, 1.76, 0.77, 0.78, and the subjective norm value. These are the subjective norm values, three values, 0.860. So we check all the factor loading. All the factor loading should be greater than 0.75. Sorry, 0.714. So here you can see all the values of. So from this table, I prepared the factor matrix. जो भी मैंने शो किया था, अभी जो मैंने शो किया है. So from this you can see again the factor matrix. Yes, this table. So I took all the value from the standardized regression. ये देखिए यहाँ से हमने लिया है, सारे वैल्यू आ गए. Now the group ये आ गया, and sorry, output. I'm interpreting the output. You see the, yes, output. ठीक है, output. Then interconstruct correlation. Interconstruct correlation. You can take interconstruct correlation from this table. The interconstruct correlation, we will take attitude with subjective norm. Let's say attitude construct, subjective norm construct. So what is the correlation? Correlation is 0.210. So from this table we create the discriminant validity table. ये देखिए, yes. The 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. ये principal diagonal, all the values, average variance extracted. और ये क्या है? 80 subjective norm, pursued behavior control, purchase intention, and purchase behavior. 80, then subjective norm, then PB, pursued behavior control, and PBC, PI, and PB. So जो average variance extracted कहाँ से हमें मिला? पुराने previous table से, जिससे पहले टेबल है average variance extracted. And now we take the interconstruct correlation. मतलब attitude and subjective norm. Attitude and subjective norm. What is the correlation? This we will square this correlation and put here. Then attitude with pursued behavioral control. Attitude with pursued behavioral control. We take this correlation and square. After squaring, we will put here. Then attitude with purchase intention. Attitude with purchase intention. ये भी. So in a discriminant analysis, we found all the average variance expected greater than the SIC. SIC means squared interconstruct correlation. should be less than the average variance extracted. When it the all the squared interconstruct correlation less than average variance extracted, it means there is no issue of discriminant validity. Discriminant validity tell us the all the 5 construct unrelated to each other. Construct should not be related. So through discriminant analysis, ठीक है, वो हमने find कर लिया. Now second approach, model fitness. The second is model fitness. The first method, goodness of fit, checking the goodness of fit. One is C min by of degree of freedom. It should be less than 2. So it is 1.345. It is good. Now we check the GFI. GFI, the first value yeah, then GFI should be greater than 0.95. But it is near to 0.95. Goodness of so it is 0.944. So basically, goodness of fit index tell us about the observed minus estimated. So this is our estimated value. If observed value 1 and the estimated value 0.944, it means less error, very less error, 0.05. So the estimated value away from the observed value means high error. Okay, if your GFI value 0.7, it means 30% error. So it is near to the 0.7. Then TLI, Tucker-Lewis index, it should be greater than 0.95. So there is no issue. It is 0.98. And one value of parsimonious fit index, that is PNFI, parsimonious normed fit index, it is less value. ये देखिए 0.7, but theoretically, ideally, it should be greater than 0.95. But these value, whether the value of the absolute fit indices value, incremental fit indices value, and parsimonious fit indices value, all the values may vary, depend on the number of variables and construct and sample size. If your sample size high, then GFI value 0.9 desirable. ठीक है ना, तो इसके ऊपर भी थोड़ा सा ये वेरी करती है. Now you can give the reference of Hare Anderson. Hare Anderson give the table. उसने table दिया है, उसमें you can see. And one is RMSEA. One badness of fit index. Goodness of fit index means the value should near to 1. Badness of fit index value near to 0. So what is the value? 0.304. Theoretically, it should be less than 0.08. So there is no issue. It is already less than 0.08, 0.034, but near to 0, good for model. So ये इस तरीके से हम इसको प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. अब सेम, अब देखिए आफ्टर सेम थिंग जैसे मैंने किया, the same process we can apply for the testing of structural equation modeling. Now I am performing the testing of structural equation modeling and result will be more or less same. तो यहाँ पे there is no issue of उसका कोई issue नहीं है, model fit है, all the values of goodness of fit index above the cutoff value or near to the cutoff value, and the other value, the construct validity also good. There is no issue of convergent validity and discriminant validity. Now I perform the another model, the testing of the structural equation modeling. ठीक है. Now the second step भी देखिए, ये ध्यान रखिए, 2 parts में करते हैं. CFA फर्स्ट पार्ट में CFA एंड सेकंड पार्ट में वी परफॉर्म टेस्ट. अगर कोई बहुत टेस्टेड मॉडल है, देन वी कैन डायरेक्टली टेस्ट द स्ट्रक्चरल इक्वेशन मॉडल, टेस्टिंग द मॉडल डायरेक्टली कर सकते हैं. बट यू शुड परफॉर्म, कर लेना चाहिए आपको इन द फर्स्ट स्टेप मेजरमेंट मॉडल एंड सेकंड यू कैन टेस्ट द स्ट्रक्चरल मॉडल. नाउ आई एम ड्राइंग द पिक्चर ऑफ a structural model. So it is, I'm taking in landscape, it is in format, page layout, landscape, apply, and then so then there are 5 construct. 1, then duplicate, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sorry. Okay. Now you can draw the indicator. You can add attitude, subjective norm, perceived behavior control, purchase intention, purchase behavior. You can rotate. Okay. Up you can draw the line, dependence relationship, and dependence relationship. Now here you can test the hypothesis. अब उसमें टेस्ट नहीं कर सकते थे. Now you can test the hypothesis. कैसे कर सकते हैं वो भी मैं बता रहा हूँ अभी आपको. Now there are 3 exogenous construct. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then plugins draw covariance. Now you give the name of each construct and variable. So first is attitude. Write down the attitude, or simply you can write the AT. Okay, or you can give the full name, but due to time saving I am just using the abbreviation PBC and PI and PB. Okay, then select the data set. इसमें हमारे पास डेटा सेट है और the data set. Select the file and then view, interface properties, miscellaneous, untick this display variable label and apply. And now you can list variable in data set. You just drag and drop attitude, third question, fourth question of attitude, subjective norm, then perceived behavior control, PPC. So you can change the font size. It is your hand. ये देखिए, ये आप अपने इसको चेंज भी कर सकते हैं. Now the purchase intention PI2, PI3, and then 3 questions of purchase behavior, and there are 2 endogenous PI and PB. So we need to create error term 1 and 2. Endogenous के लिए हम लोग ये भी error term. Run the model. Sorry, अभी the name of unobserved. How many unobserved? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. अभी बहुत सारे. So go to plugins, name unobserved. अब हो गया model complete. Now we can run. और मैं कह रहा था we can test the hypothesis. CFA में we do not test the hypothesis, but here we will test the hypothesis. how will you test the hypothesis? The first hypothesis H1, whether attitude significantly contributing to purchase intention or not. First, so we can create hypothesis. Second hypothesis, subjective norm and purchase intention. Third, purchase behavior control and purchase intention. Fourth, purchase intention and purchase behavior. ठीक है, इस तरीके से we can test the hypothesis. उसके रिजल्ट भी आएंगे, बताऊंगा मैं कैसे, कहाँ से, how to interpret the results of hypothesis test. And then select this icon, output, indirect, direct, and then calculate estimates. यहाँ मैंने लिख दिया CFA SEM, ठीक है. My model has been estimated. अब ये estimated हो गया, बन गया मॉडल. ठीक है, आपका एक रिसर्च पेपर तैयार हो गया. अगर इसको इस तरीके से आप पेपर लिखेंगे तो ABDC जर्नल में छपने के बड़े आसान, और उसमें करना कुछ नहीं है, बस मॉडल वैलिडिटी चेक करना है एंड गुडनेस ऑफ फिट इंडाइसिस, उन दोनों के रिजल्ट रखना है. यू कैन पब्लिश योर रिसर्च पेपर किसी में भी, ABDC में, एल्सवियर, टेलर एंड फ्रांसिस, सेज पब्लिकेशंस में, एमराल्ड के जर्नल्स हैं, है ना, उसमें साइंस डायरेक्ट, जो अच्छे रेप्यूटेड जर्नल में यू कैन पब्लिश योर रिसर्च पेपर, क्योंकि ये एडवांस स्टैटिस्टिकल, दिस इज एडवांस स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल टेक्निक, ये आ गया. ठीक है, अब द रिजल्ट्स, नाउ द यू कैन सी द रिजल्ट इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ रिजल्ट वुड बी सेम. ये यू कैन सी द रिजल्ट, यस, ठीक है. द एस्टिमेट्स, द you can take the standardized factor loading from this table. ठीक है, और इसमें इसके बाद the hypothesis testing, yes, covariance, correlation, hypothesis pursuit behavior control. ये देखिए hypothesis testing की जो वैल्यूज हैं you can take from this table. Standardized weight, ये वैल्यूज हैं यहाँ पर, एंड द अदर वैल्यूज ये देख लीजिए यहाँ पे. Purchase behavior, the standardized regression weight. So what is the purchase, ये वैल्यू आ गई हमारी इसकी, परचेज बिहेवियर एंड परचेज इंटेंशन. इसके बाद एस्टिमेट्स, द कोवेरियंस मैट्रिक्स एंड द एटीट्यूड वेरिएंसेस है, ये तो इसका कोई मतलब नहीं. ये, हाँ, ये वैल्यू आ गई, देखिए हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग की रिग्रेशन वेट थ्रू रिग्रेशन. Now first is the purchase intention. So there are 5 constructs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First, attitude, the attitude, subjective norm, PBC, PI and PB. ये मॉडल, दिस इज अवर the PI, purchase intention and attitude and purchase intention, P value greater than 0.05, not significantly contributing to PI. Second, PI with subjective norm, yes, it is the alternate hypothesis accepted, or we can say subjective norm significantly contributing to purchase intention. And third, it's again greater than 0.05, not significant, and fourth, not significant. Only one hypothesis significant. ठीक है ना, तो ये अलग अलग मॉडल के हिसाब से अलग अलग हो सकती है, कोई ऐसा जरूर नहीं है कि सारी सिग्निफिकेंट ही हो. but all the value should be significant. P value should be less than 0.05. ठीक है, ये तो ये पार्ट हो गया हमारा इसका. सेकंड पार्ट वो है हमारा PLSSEM. ठीक है, PLSSEM शुरू करते हैं. अब उसमें डिफरेंस समझ लें कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन PLSSEM एंड Yasa. What is, एक मिनट, सिद्धार्थ प्लीज टेल मी आफ्टर EFA इज इट नेसेसरी? नो 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 सिद्धार्थ, एक्चुअली इट्स ए कंफ्यूजन मैं कह सकता हूं कि व्हेन यू आर यूजिंग टेस्टेड मॉडल then you do not need to perform EFA. Otherwise what will happen कि your one construct question will come in other construct, उस दूसरे construct के नीचे आ जाएंगे. ठीक है, ये समझ लीजिए. So the sequence is first you can apply CFA and then SEM. No need to check EFA. ठीक है सिद्धार्थ. And Yasi, your question, Yasha Shukla, your question is it possible to get the estimate for all construct including the one whose path has to be restricted? हाँ, कर सकते हो रिपोर्टेड पर्पस के लिए, उसकी कोई वो नहीं है. देखिए एक्चुअल रिजल्ट दिखाने में हमें जो अगर चाहे तो इफ यू वांट कि जो रेस्ट्रिक्टेड पाथ है उसको भी हम दिखाना चाहें रिपोर्टिंग पर्पस से, इट इज ऑप्शनल. यू कैन show your result. Any question regarding the SEM? Otherwise I will start the PLS SEM, क्योंकि ये भी कोई अभी कोई क्वेश्चन है? एनी क्वेश्चन? Praveen, do you have any query? Praveen Patel, you are not asking any question today. प्रवीण, मुझे लग रहा प्रवीण है नहीं शायद. चलिए कोई बात नहीं. तो ठीक है, मैं अब ये आई स्टार्ट द पार्शियल लीस्ट स्क्वायर. Siddharth, your question is if I made a scale that time I have to conduct. Yes Siddharth, if you are developing new scale, then you need to perform EFA, CFA and SEM. But if you are testing the theory, then there is no need to perform EFA. ठीक है, अगर आप अपना नया स्केल कुछ नया करना चाह रहे हैं, इसमें मॉडिफिकेशन या जो कोई नया स्केल डेवलप कर रहे हैं, देन यू कैन परफॉर्म EFA. और इसका स्केल डेवलपमेंट के पर भी वी शेयर्ड वन बुक, स्केल डेवलपमेंट, for it is necessary to perform EFA before CFA and SEM for new skill development. बिल्कुल, you are right. Akansa, your question, if a construct is multi-dimensional, then is it the same procedure? देखो प्रोसीजर तो more or less इसी तरीके से होता है, because there are many models. The single higher order model, ठीक है, हायर ऑर्डर मॉडल में जिसकी आप बात कर रहे हो आकांक्षा. सो वी शेयर्ड वन बुक, इसकी मैं बुक बता रहा हूँ कि जो ब्रायन का जो बुक है, तो उसमें कॉम्प्लेक्स मॉडल भी दिए हुए. सो यू कैन गो थ्रू दैट बुक आपको मिली होगी शायद. बुक मिली है आकांक्षा स्ट्रक्चरल इक्वेशन मॉडलिंग पर? आपके पास बुक है आकांक्षा? ओके ओके, देखिए नाउ आई एम शोइंग यू द बुक. फॉर मोर डिटेल you can go through this book, structural equation modeling with AMOS. इसकी you can take photocopy of this book. अगर AMOS सीखना चाहते हो, so they started with the very basics, बहुत basic से किया है. बारबरा एम बायरन की बुक है. So here you can use using the AMOS program, how to use testing for factorial validity of first order CFA model, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सेकंड ऑर्डर मॉडल, आप जो बात कर रही हो वो सेकंड ऑर्डर मॉडल की बात कर रही हो। सो सेकंड ऑर्डर ये देखिए सेकंड ऑर्डर मॉडल यू कैन परफॉर्म, सेकंड ऑर्डर मॉडल को अभी आप परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं। ये सेकंड ऑर्डर मॉडल, ये पेज नंबर देखिए 129, मैं 129 पर देखता हूँ। ये देखिए ये सेकंड ऑर्डर इस तरीके के जो आप बता रहे हो ना, जैसे ये देखिए now depression, and depression has three subconstruct: attitude, performance difficulty, and all the जैसे ये नेगेटिव एटीट्यूड, इट हैज कितने क्वेश्चन है इसमें देखिए 1 2 3, बीडीआई बैक डिप्रेशन इन्वेंट्री के क्वेश्चन हैं ये, ऑल दी क्वेश्चन। ये सेकंड ऑर्डर क्वेश्चन, सेकंड ऑर्डर है। तो यू कैन गो थ्रू दिस बुक, बहुत अच्छी बुक है, इसमें पूरा डिटेल में देखिए। अभी हम लोग इंट्रोडक्टरी बता रहे हैं कि व्हाट इज स्ट्रक्चरल इक्वेशन मॉडलिंग एंड हाउ टू परफॉर्म इन एमओएस सॉफ्टवेयर, ठीक है ना। फॉर मोर डिटेल यू कैन गो थ्रू दिस, बहुत अच्छी बुक है। ओके ओके, चलिए मैं अब स्टार्ट करता हूँ। आई स्टार्ट द, हालांकि थोड़ा सा आइडिया दे दूंगा इसका भी, क्योंकि पीएलएस एसईएम अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है। इट टेक्स 3 to 4 आवर्स कम से कम चाहिए, लेकिन ये है कि हाउ टू परफॉर्म, हाउ टू चेक द मॉडल वैलिडिटी थ्रू पीएलएस, वो मैं आज बता दूंगा, है ना। नाउ यू कैन सी माय वीडियोज आल्सो। अभी अगर वीडियोज नहीं मिले हैं, जैसे नाउ यू कैन सी माय वीडियोज ऑन पीएलएस एसईएम और एमओएस सीबीएसईएम। so you just put my name, Dr. Shailesh Koshan, और you can watch my videos। उसमें सारा डेटा सेट भी फ्रीली अवेलेबल है, वो आप कर सकते हैं। पार्शियल लीस्ट स्क्वायर, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ PLS SEM, the multiple regression analysis. We know that the purpose of multiple regression analysis: prediction and explanation. We predict outcome variable on the basis of several independent variables. So there are many independent variables like x1, x2. So on the basis of these independent variables, we predict and explain the outcome variable. Explanation means out of the several independent variable, which particular independent variable more significantly influence the dependent variable. Okay, now the multiple regression analysis. Now when we combine in the partial least square, so it is partial least square regression is a statistical regression technique used to extract linear combination of predictors, means latent factor, in order to predict one or more responses. Here we are predicting latent factor. Latent factor means the combination of 3 or 4 questions. So here it is same as multiple regression analysis. So why customer loyalty? But customer loyalty, it is a construct, latent construct. So here we are taking all the latent construct. So this is our endogenous and customer satisfaction, hotel image, and staff service quality, exogenous construct. Now here I told you in a PLS SEM we can perform a reflective and measurement model both. ठीक है, so ये देखिए ये मॉडल है। Now you can see this picture, it's very important picture. So there are two outer rectangle or model. You can see the one and the second. Here you can see outer, and one is inner. Inner means inside. So first of all, you can see this picture. There are 4 constructs: x1, y1, x2, y2. 4 constructs or 4 factors. Which one is formative? Can you tell me? There are 4 construct x1, y1, x2, y2, and which one reflective? बताओ मुझे कौन सा रिफ्लेक्टिव है इसमें से और कौन सा वो है। Which one formative? 1y square. y square नहीं, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ x1 x2 सॉरी y2 x1 x2 formative. x1, yes, you are right. Akansha, you are right. x2, Dr. Amit Ranjan, y2 reflective or formative? y1 y2 reflective, yes. Amit, बताओ y2 reflective है कि formative? अनम्यूट कर दूं क्या? बताओ.
Sir, Y2 is reflect.
y2 reflective, ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही. और formative कौन सा होगा?
Sir, X1 and X2 is formative, sir.
Yes, you are right, absolutely right, absolutely. Okay, good. Because here x1 and x2 formative, because arrow from rectangle to oval. Okay, these three indicator forming this construct. These three indicators forming this construct. That is why two construct formative and two reflective, because they are influencing the reflection symptoms, you can see. So in this model, sorry, now you can see the inner part, outer model and inner model. There are two path model. One is inner model. Inner model is known as structural model. Why? Because it is a relationship of two constructs. And measurement model, it is outer model. So in our case, in this diagram, there are two outer model. Yes, two outer model. The outer model, this outer model. Outer model, nothing but CFA, measurement model. It is outer model. And this is also outer model. Structural model means inner model, where the dependence relationship, this to this, this to this. Ye inner model. Inner model nothing but structural model. So we can test the hypothesis. First hypothesis, second hypothesis, third hypothesis. But we do not test hypothesis in outer model. We don't test hypothesis in outer model. तो ये एक फॉर्मेटिव में इसमें डिफरेंस है, चीजें वही हैं. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा मैं जल्दी चल रहा हूँ, वो रिपीटेशन है, इसलिए मैं बार बार रिपीट नहीं करना चाहता हूँ चीजों को. Now the measurement theory. So we can perform measurement theory. One is formative measurement model and reflective measurement model. We cannot perform formative measurement model in a MOS. The formative measurement model trust. The three indicators are the forming the trust: kindness, ability, integrity. It is formative. And reflective means customer satisfaction. Satisfied, recommend. If you are satisfied, you will say I am satisfied. If you are satisfied, you will say I will recommend this product to others. I will revisit again. So these are the reflections. Okay. Abhi dekhiye. Now the difference between the CBSEM and PLSSEM में क्या basic difference है ये हम समझें. CBSEM confirming or rejecting theories through testing. The confirming or rejecting theories through testing of hypothesis. We use CBSEM when sample size is large. Large means the sample size should be 8 to 10 times of number of variables. If you are taking 20 variables, your sample size should be 200 in CBSEM. But in PLSSEM, if your sample size 4 to 5 times, means if your sample size, you are taking 20 questions and your sample size 70 or 80, 3 or 4 times, then you can apply the you can test your structural model. In a CBSEM, the limitation 5 to 10 observations and the model is correctly specified. जैसे अमित जो रजत आप बात कर रहे थे कि जो अलग अलग रिलेशनशिप देखना चाह रहे हैं, if you perform in PLS SEM or if you are developing new theories or new concept, then you should perform PLS SEM. अपना मॉडल PLS SEM पे आपको परफॉर्म करना चाहिए, because in a CBSEM the condition is the model is correctly specified. ठीक है ना. बट अगर आप कोई नया कंस्ट्रक्ट भी दे रहे हैं, so through statistical significance, if your convergent validity and discriminant validity okay, then there is no problem, you can test your new model also. ठीक है ना. अपना या modified new model ना कह के modified model कहूँ कि you can modify model को आप टेस्ट कर सकते हैं. तो and the requirement of the CBSEM कि at least one indicator, at least the construct minimum number of variables should be 3 in each construct. लेकिन इसमें if you are using the PLS SEM, if in your construct 1 or 2 question, then you can apply the PLS SEM कर सकते हैं. CBSEM cannot perform formative measurement model. Formative measurement model को हम परफॉर्म ही नहीं कर सकते. PLS SEM is alternative to CBSEM. Applications have little available theory. If you are developing new theories or you want to modify something, then it is good to you to use PLS SEM. When sample size is small, predictive accuracy is paramount. ठीक है. If your data is in Likert scale, then you can use PLS SEM. So these are the advantages of the PLS SEM. अब देखिए रिफ्लेक्टिव. अब मैं इसका जो मॉडल है, आई एम परफॉर्मिंग दिस मॉडल कस्टमर लॉयल्टी. इस केस स्टडी के थ्रू मैं इसको परफॉर्म कर रहा हूँ और फिर उसको आप जो है इसको देख सकते हैं कि हाउ टू परफॉर्म कैसे करते हैं इसको. ठीक है. In this case study, you can go through this case study. The case study is ABC Hotel is very famous for its hospitality. In India, hospitality sector is one of the most important factor for tourism industry. Good hotels could provide the necessary substructures for tourism. Therefore, the growth in tourism industry in India depend on growth in hotel industry. Hotel industry had a major growth in recent years in India. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to explore the customer satisfaction and loyalty. Customer loyalty and other variables are example of latent variables that is multidimensional and difficult to observe directly. In order to understand customer loyalty, a survey can be conducted to ask restaurant patrons about their dining experience. In this hypothetical survey example, restaurant patrons are asked to rate their experience on scale. ये हमने कुछ क्वेश्चंस लिए. ठीक है. अब ये मैं इसकी जो मेन वाला मॉडल बता देता हूं आपको, जिसमें हम दोनों यूज कर रहे हैं, फॉर्मेटिव एंड मेजरमेंट मॉडल. ठीक है. इसमें हमने लिए इन दिस मैं इसमें दोनों मॉडल यूज कर रहा हूँ, फॉर्मेटिव एंड रिफ्लेक्टिव. द कस्टमर लॉयल्टी, आई एम टेकिंग दिस कंस्ट्रक्ट and the customer loyalty has 3 questions, customer satisfaction 3 questions, hotel image 3 questions, perceived service quality 3 questions, security 3 questions, room ambience 4 and employee responsiveness 3 questions. Okay. ये मैं इस I will draw this picture and test the model. अब इसमें you can see the 3 जो कंस्ट्रक्ट है, एम्बियंस, सिक्योरिटी, रेस्पॉन्सिवनेस, ऑल द 3 आर फॉर्मेटिव एंड द रेस्ट ऑफ द 4 कंस्ट्रक्ट रिफ्लेक्टिव बिकॉज एरो फ्रॉम ओवल शेप टू रेक्टेंगल. ठीक है. ये मेरी केस स्टडी है. अब इसमें करना क्या क्या है वो हम बताएंगे. अभी पहले इसमें फर्स्ट स्टेप में वी विल ड्रॉ दिस मॉडल. ये स्मार्ट PLS, you can see this. I think you can see it is visible to all. It is very easy. It is more easy than the uh, Amos. देखिए, first of all, what will we do? Write the project name, file, new, create project, create project. So I am writing here PLS SEM. My project name is PLS SEM. And then next, choose the file. So file, PLS SEM. So I am taking full structural model. The file है, and we save file in .csv format, and then finish. And after finish, you can see the PLS SEM. Okay. Now you can draw the picture. What is your how many construct? 7. The construct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. ठीक है. Now give the name. The first construct name loyalty. तो इसका नाम, सॉरी, इसको रिमूव कर दें, delete. The first construct name is loyalty, customer loyalty. Loyalty. Second construct name satisfaction. Sorry. Second construct name satisfaction. Satisfaction. You write here, go right click and rename satisfaction. Okay. And third, image, hotel image. And the next service, hotel service. And this construct name ambience. Ambience, after ambience security. And then after security, responsiveness. Responsiveness. Okay. Now choose the construct. So how many questions of the ambience? 4. Select only 4 and drop here. Is it reflective or formative? It is formative. So how to change it? Right click, invert measurement model, security. The 3 construct formative: ambience, security, and responsive. Now select the question of security. Yes, 3 questions of security. Drag and drop, invert. Responsiveness, drag and drop, invert measurement model. Image, it is reflective, nothing to change. Loyalty, reflective. satisfaction, again reflective, and then service reflective. देखिए बड़ा इजीली बन जाता है ये. Now align right, align top, align bottom, align top. Okay, so what is the relationship? You just you press this and then this, and the security also related to image responsiveness, and then ambience related to service, ambience related to service, responsive related to this and this. ये इस तरीके से now you can draw your model. And the other relationship, service with loyalty and image with loyalty. आपका मॉडल बन गया. अब इसमें क्या करना है हमें? You just analyze this model. How to analyze? Calculate PLS algorithm. PLS algorithm. Finish. हो गया मॉडल आपका तैयार. रिजल्ट्स आ गए इसके. Now we will check whether there are some conditions in a reflective measurement model. इसमें क्या क्या चीजें हमें करना है रिफ्लेक्टिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल में. इसमें देखिए मैं अभी आपको जरा शो कर देता हूं इसकी पिक्चर. अब इसमें हमें करना क्या, मॉडल तो बन गया इसका. अब आउटपुट में हमें क्या क्या चीजें देनी है. नाउ वी विल चेक इट. ये देखिए ये जो हमारा मॉडल है, एक तो उसमें इन्हें फॉर्मेटिव, पहले चलिए मैं उसका ले लेता हूँ रिफ्लेक्टिव का. पहले रिफ्लेक्टिव में क्या लेते हैं हम, फिर फॉर्मेटिव का, दोनों का बता देते हैं. रिफ्लेक्टिव में फर्स्ट इज द इंटरनल कंसिस्टेंसी. वी चेक द इंटरनल कंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ आवर मॉडल, कंपोजिट रिलायबिलिटी. सेकंड इज वी चेक द स्क्वायर्ड आउटर लोडिंग, मतलब इंडिकेटर रिलायबिलिटी. When we square the factor loading, we will get the indicator reliability. Okay, the square of factor loading known as indicator reliability. And then convergent validity. How will we find the convergent validity? Through average variance statistic. Here we do not need to find the convergent validity. Output will give us the result of convergent validity and discriminant validity. इनके सबके हमें जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो हमें ये करके दे देगा. ठीक है ना. तो ये जो रिजल्ट आएंगे हमारे पास इसके, इसी के थ्रू जो है हम इसको एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. ठीक है, एक मिनट रुक जरा. अब ये देखिए इंटरनल जो ये है फॉर्मूला ऑफ इंटरनल कंसिस्टेंसी कंपोजिट रिलायबिलिटी. ठीक है. एंड कन्वर्जेंट वैलिडिटी द आउटर लोडिंग. देखिए वी यूज टू टर्म आउटर लोडिंग एंड आउटर वेट. आउटर लोडिंग वी यूज फॉर रिफ्लेक्टिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल एंड आउटर वेट दिस टर्म यूज फॉर द फॉर्मेटिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल. outer weight and outer loading same thing as जैसे इसमें हम लेते हैं कि वो फैक्टर लोडिंग ही है एक तरीके से. ठीक है ना, इसको फैक्टर लोडिंग ही कहते हैं. डिस्क्रिमिनेंट वैलिडिटी का जो क्राइटेरिया है, देयर आर टू क्राइटेरिया टू चेक द वेदर माय मॉडल इज देयर इज नो इशू ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेंट वैलिडिटी का कोई इशू तो नहीं है. द फर्स्ट इज द इन दिस factor matrix, if you see the 0.8 for to red में point, this factor loading the image one item and with image, this factor loading should be greater than the other factor loading. same row में तो उसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि 0.2482 greater than the other three cross loading. Second 0.79 again it is greater than. Third greater than. तो जब इसमें फैक्टर लोडिंग ग्रेटर देन द अदर क्रॉस लोडिंग देन देयर इज नो इशू ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेंट वैलिडिटी। सेकंड है फॉर्नेल एंड लार्कर क्राइटेरिया। ये इसमें क्या है कि एवरेज वेरिएंस एक्सपेक्टेड शुड बी ग्रेटर देन दी स्क्वायर्ड इंटरकंस्ट्रक्ट स्क्वायर्ड कोरिलेशन। so you can see all the values greater than these। ठीक है ना, एक तो ये चीजें करते हैं। अब ये चीजें जो आएंगी हमारे पास, इसको पहले तो हम इसी को एक्सप्लेन कर दें रिफ्लेक्टिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल को। इसमें जो आउटपुट है, इसका आउटपुट शो करता हूं मैं, कहाँ से हमें मिलेगा ये जो आउटपुट है, यहाँ पे लिखा रिपोर्ट। ठीक है, व्हेन यू प्रेस दिस रिपोर्ट, ये देखिए, एंड डिफॉल्ट रिपोर्ट का रिजल्ट आ गया, डिफॉल्ट रिपोर्ट। अब इसमें जो हमें वैल्यूज चेक करनी है वो आप देख लीजिए। जो पहले फर्स्ट रिफ्लेक्टिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल, सो द फर्स्ट इज द रिपोर्ट ऑफ, इसमें फर्स्ट इज द इंटरनल कंसिस्टेंसी। इंटरनल कंसिस्टेंसी मीन्स द कंपोजिट रिलायबिलिटी। so how to check it? Go to quality criteria, overview, and then here you can see the composite reliability. So how many composite reliability? The composite reliability should be greater than 0.7. so it is greater than 0.7, 0.6, 0.8, 0.78, greater than. So there is no issue of the convergent validity. Second is indicator reliability. So how to check the indicator reliability of the model? So PLS and outer loading, press this outer loading. Now the squared values, all the squared values should be greater than 0.5. so this the ambience outer loading, स्क्वायर्ड आउटर लोडिंग, देखिए आउटर लोडिंग है, यहाँ पे इनका सबका स्क्वायर करेंगे 0.6, 0.73, इसका स्क्वायर, we will square all these values and all the values should be greater than 0.5 except कुछ को अगर हम देख रहे हैं कि वो ग्रेटर देन नहीं है, जैसे ये वाला, दिस इट इज लेस, बट ऑल दी वैल्यूज, देखिए यहाँ ये भी वैल्यूज है, बट ऑल दी वैल्यूज ग्रेटर देन 0.7, सारी वैल्यूज। इसके थ्रू जो है हम वी विल चेक दी indicator reliability, whether all the indicator reliable or not. Next is convergent validity. Convergent validity through average variance expected, quality curve, overview and overview average variance expected. All the values should be greater than 0.5. It is greater than, greater than, greater than, greater than. All the four construct the value greater than the greater than 0.5. So there is no issue of convergent validity. Then discriminant validity. How to check the discriminant validity? Go to quality criteria, cross loading. Okay, cross loading. इसमें फर्स्ट क्राइटेरिया क्या है कि दिस वैल्यू एम्बियंस एंड दिस, इट इज दिस फैक्टर लोडिंग शुड बी ग्रेटर देन अदर फैक्टर लोडिंग। तो ये सबसे ज्यादा है, ये वाला, this is there is no problem. कोई भी सार all the values greater than the cross loading, so there is no issue of discriminant validity. Second, latent variable correlation. You can see latent variable correlation. So latent variable image and how many reflective measurement model? One is image, loyalty and satisfaction and service. Okay, so you can take these values from here. There are four ठीक है, 4 construct: image, loyalty, satisfaction and service. इसी तरीके से आते हैं। इट्स ए कोरिलेशन। यहाँ पे देख लीजिए, ये जो मिल होगा इमेज विद इमेज विद लॉयल्टी, इमेज विद लॉयल्टी दिस, ठीक है। ये वैल्यूज हमें इस तरीके से यहाँ पे पुट करना है। ये कैसे हमने पुट किए मैं आपको बता देता हूँ। जो ये वैल्यूज, ये second criteria is this. So average variance expected we will put here, and all the image with loyalty we will take the correlation and square, we will put the squared value of this. तो यहाँ पे स्क्वायर वैल्यू कितनी आई थी हमारे, यहाँ देख लीजिए, ये सारी वैल्यूज हम इसमें से इस टेबल से we will put all the values from this output, यहाँ से हम ले लें, ठीक है। एंड ये तो हो गया हमारा। Now question is whether all the regression coefficients, these are regression coefficients, or these are factor loadings. These are outer loading means for reflect measurement, formative measurement model, and these are for reflective. Whether all the values significant or not, how to check it? Through bootstrapping, calculate, bootstrapping, and then finish, and after finish ठीक है, bootstrapping. Now we check the result of bootstrapping. Report, default report, the outer loading, mean, standard deviation, t value. T value should be greater than plus minus 1.96. So we check, it is greater than 1.96, greater than. यहाँ पे p value नहीं दी इसमें, है ना। तो यहाँ देखिए सारी values, all the values greater than plus minus 1.96, कोई इशू नहीं है ना। सारी जो वेरिएबल है कंस्ट्रक्ट है सिग्निफिकेंट। इसी तरीके से वी विल एक्सप्लेन द फॉर्मेटिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल के रिजल्ट को, उसको भी हम करते हैं। फॉर्मेटिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल में नाउ वी विल रिपोर्ट द रिजल्ट ऑफ रिफ्लेक्टिव मेजरमेंट मॉडल। इस तरीके से वी विल रिपोर्ट द रिजल्ट like image, वो देखिए there are 4 reflective measurement model: image, loyalty, satisfaction and service. Image has 3 questions: the outer loading of all the factors, all the indicators, then indicator reliability. When you square of this value you will get indicator reliability, and composite reliability, you directly from the output we will get the composite reliability. And average variance expected, we will obtain this value also from the output. And discriminant validity correct, it means we have checked through, there are 2 criteria to check the discriminant validity, जिसमें हमने बताया था फॉर्नेल एंड देन क्रॉस लॉडिंग वाला, दोनों के थ्रू कोई इशू। इस तरीके से we will report the result of reflective measurement model in our research paper. अब फॉर्मेटिव में देखिए वही चीजें हैं, थोड़ा सा अलग हो जाएगा। कंटेंट वैलिडिटी, you are forming the construct, so whether the whatever question you are taking, is it justifiable? क्या ये justifiable है सारे questions जो आपने लिए? क्या content validity, do you have a literature review, can you justify the all the questions related to the particular construct? So you check the content validity. Then convergent validity, collinearity among indicators and significance of outer loading. Convergent content validity कैसे करते हैं check? Content validity specify the domain of content of indicator are intended to measure. we should go through literature review and ensure theoretical background of the measures. ठीक है, उसके बेसिस पर हम करते हैं. We have shared one book, marketing scale, so you can go through this book to check the content validity of the construct. कोई भी रिसर्च पेपर आप लिख रहे हैं उसमें ये हेल्पफुल होगी. Then second is the strength convergent validity. How to check the convergent validity? Convergent, the criteria is different here. Convergent validity check करने का, the strength of the path coefficient linking the two construct, and validity of the design set of formative indicator in tapping construct of interest, the magnitude of जो indicators है 0.9 or at least minimum it should be 0.8. ठीक है, अगर इससे कम है then there is issue of convergent validity. तो इसकी convergent validity जैसे हमारा मॉडल है इसमें, and then third is collinearity. There should not be collinearity issue between the two construct, या मल्टी कोलिनिटी का इशू नहीं होना चाहिए. उसकी रेंज बताया how to check it. So through tolerance and VIF we can check the convergent validity. If tolerance value below 0.2 and VIF value of 5 and higher indicate a potential collinearity. ठीक है, so how will we check? Through linear regression analysis we will check. And then significance of the outer weight. Through bootstrapping we will check whether all the outer weight significant or not. If t value greater than plus 1.96 and lower than minus 1.96, then there is no issue of outer weight. ठीक है, इस तरीके से. तो इसमें हमारे जो मॉडल है, now we obtain the convergent validity of the three formative model 0.795, 0.817, 0.87. So the cutoff value 0.8. So ambience near to the cutoff value, so there is no issue of convergent validity. And collinearity, tolerance value below. यहाँ पे all the values जो हैं वो greater than है, वो जो 5 से कम, ये देखिए यहाँ पे जो वैल्यू टॉलरेंस वैल्यू बिलो 0.2 एंड VIF value. VIF basically reciprocal of tolerance. VIF value 5 and higher respectively indicate a collinearity problem. ठीक है, इसमें हमने पाया कि कोई collinearity का इशू नहीं. Outer weight, जो results हैं output, I will show the output also. So here you can see the outer weight, the t value in this column. You can see all the value should be greater than 1.96 plus minus 1.96. All the values greater than plus minus 1.6, तो कोई इश्यूज का नहीं है, ये देखिए. ठीक है ना, केवल एक वेरिएबल, नाउ यू कैन सी दिस, it is less than 1.96, so not significant. One indicator of security not significant. तो इस तरीके से हम इसको कर सकते हैं. तो आज के लिए इतना ही रखते हैं, और इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेरी, केवल एक आइडिया देना हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव था इसमें आज.